Yo, what up? Rob here. So I'm gonna walk you through my dashboard, a scorecard dashboard. And I mean, this is kind of makeshift, but it works for me. And it's just something that I think is important because when you track LinkedIn and you're measuring certain numbers, you want to be able to see it across time. And I'm not the best at spreadsheets, but I love using it. And the great thing about AI is I can get all the help I need with AI. So basically, here's what I'm looking at. This is essentially my scorecard for viewers and impressions, right? Here, I try to keep it simple to where, all right, profile viewers, post impressions. Profile viewers, post impressions. I can quickly pull these numbers. Now, the reason why this is important because depending on what you're doing for your activity or what you're doing with your posts, that's going to determine these numbers. How many people actually view you and how many impressions you're getting. What's really interesting is you might think that a particular post will cause an increase in the impressions, but what I'm learning is, pro tip, you can really expand your reach through engagement, not necessarily posting. And it has that vice versa effect where you engage more, then people come and engage with your stuff, etc., etc. So that's kind of theory, strategy. But the idea here is I just need a place to house my numbers and then track week on or date by date growth. And then basically, so here is the first week. Now, a little bit of my story. The reason why I'm offering LinkedIn as a service in terms of management and ghostwriting is back not too long ago, my LinkedIn was a ghost town. Just nothing was going on. I neglected it, all that stuff. So then when I decided, I'm going to revive this, I was able to see some growth. And then I decided to offer it as a service because now I can help people with some of my systems. And this is part of my systems. For example, so let's go with here. November 29, profile viewers was that much. Post impressions was that much. And then later on, profile viewers, a slight growth, right? But then it dropped. What's interesting here is now I've got numbers to tell me, what happened, right? So ultimately, that's why you have data so you can make very informed decisions. What I'm going to show you here is how I use AI to make it even more visual and better high level. So here I'm tracking it to a 5, right? I got the numbers. Now the other numbers I'm tracking is connections and followers. So I just come here, go there, connections, that's the number, and then come here, followers. Oh, sorry. Following, followers, and then I add that number. So that's how I get these 4 very high level numbers. And then I'm also tracking starred. Now, starred conversations, most of you know that when you log in and then you go into your messages, there's going to be stars, right? You can star a conversation, and then this is where you can track. Now, it doesn't work the same way. I'm not the greatest spreadsheet person, but this is just accumulative, meaning I got 2 this week, then I ended up getting 1 more, which became a total of 3. Then here I gained 2 more, so I got to figure that number out. But in this case, this growth percentage is calculated by the previous date minus, and then you divide, right? So 3.7 minus 3.5, then you divide it by 3.5 will give me that growth percentage. So I grew by 8%, grew by only 2%. Then I've got my KPIs very low, right? It's below my KPIs. But then as you can tell, you implement some things. Okay, that was a big spike. Great. So that's where I'm getting all my data, right? Then obviously appointments from my calendar and all that. So what I do is I make this, I've got all my numbers inputted, and then I take a screenshot because, again, I know you could do like charts and all that stuff. I don't know how to do it. So I just grab the screenshot, go to Claude, paste it, and then say, create a chart and graph of this data. Claude's way smarter than me, does all its stuff, comes here, and then I publish it. And now I get to have a very clean visual look at the numbers. So here then I can quickly say, all right, what happened on this day that increased my profile views? And I noticed that there's something happening here that's consistent. Interesting. Connections and followers are going to continue to grow kind of in tandem. This is very interesting. And then post impressions went low here, right? And then that one spiked. Very interesting. And why is that? So knowing what I did on these two dates, I can say, that specifically, that action is what I took on this day to create that bump. And again, like I said, what's interesting is engagement is actually what happened here and here. So this is, I tested a manual time frame of me engaging, right? Going outbound engagement, inbound engagement. So outbound is me going outside to other profiles and engaging there. Inbound is me engaging on my profile, but then also on the DMs. Here is I tested a different method and same manual, but a different strategy on how I'm filtering who I'm going to outbound to. And clearly this won. Therefore, I know I'm going to replicate this and then just kind of keep it growing, right? So that's basically what I wanted to show is in my process, I have numbers that I'm tracking, and then I have a way to visualize it. Now, what I'm going to be doing right now, I'm considering looking at the specific post views, because that's really interesting, and many people are experiencing this. So I'm gonna go here. Then I'm gonna come here. You guys know my viewers, right? So I have followers, but then let's go here and take a look at the impressions. Very little impressions. Very, very little impressions. 155, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I may create a more granular breakout where I look at posts and then track their impressions. But here's the very, very interesting thing about this too, is these posts will continue to show when you engage outbound, and it doesn't necessarily show in order, right? So just because I posted something today, I go outbound, it's not going to show what I posted today. It's usually going to show just randomly, at least from what I'm seeing, right? And that's why you'll have 235 here, and then not too long ago, here's, right? So maybe a week later, that's 150. So it's still growing in impressions very slowly, right? That's still, right? So that's kind of what I'm figuring out. But I just wanted you to see this part and how cool this is and important it is, so you can then see the narrative through graphs and then make decisions and look back in retrospect to assess what you did, create best practices to test again, and then you rock and roll. All right. If you have any questions for your LinkedIn, let me know, and then I'll help you. Peace.